my name is Mirna Valerio, and I am actually coming at you from my home in Montpelier, Vermont. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and I have found myself living and loving Vermont. There are trails everywhere. There are mountains everywhere. There are tons and tons of places to ride and run. I'm originally a trail runner, and that's up until about last year is how I identified mainly as someone who runs trails. And I got into that because I love the outdoors. I was a runner in high school. I did field hockey, I did lacrosse, and I used running to get better at those sports. But then I found myself falling in love with being a runner and being able to be outside all day and running in grass and running on trails. Fast forward to my early adulthood, where I took a running course, and which brought me to my first 5Ks and 10Ks, and I fell in love with those things. And I ended up doing one of my first trail races back then, and didn't trail run again for another 10 years in 2009. 2008, I had this health scare where I thought I was having a heart attack. And that prompted me, after a bunch of visits with doctors and specialists, to get back on the treadmill and start running again. So I never looked back from then. I started running again, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, ultra marathons. I'm an ultra marathoner, which means I run distances from 26 miles and up, right? And it makes my heart so full. I get to be outside on trails. I get to meet people. I get to formulate new communities, new families, new groups of friends out there on the trails. And I love doing it. I love it. All throughout that time, I was a teacher. I was a teacher for 18 years. I taught high school mostly, music, Spanish, diversity. I was director of diversity, equity, and inclusion at my last school before I left teaching. And that sort of work is very, very important to me. It is part of why I continue to try to break barriers in sport. Not just because I love the sports and I want to be an athlete, and I am an athlete, and it's a very big part of who I am, but also because there are so many opportunities for, or actually I want to increase the opportunities for people like me, people who look like me, people who are plus size, people who are Black, people who identify as female, to enter into sports and feel like they belong. And so I've had an incredible opportunity this year, and I didn't always see it as an opportunity, to become a cyclist. And I have been pushing back at this identity of being a cyclist for about a year right now, but I'm finding that I love it. I love the feeling of riding downhill. I love the feeling of pushing really hard and using different muscles than I use when I'm running. I love the feeling of finding that extra gear, right, in a race. And so yes, I've been cycling, I've been riding for the last year. I love it. I love being a person that people can look up to and say, hey, well, if Mirna is doing it, maybe I can try to do that. Maybe that means that I belong in that arena too. Maybe, even though it's hard, maybe I can see what's out there. I can satisfy some of my curiosity. So that's why I do the work that I do. It's very important for people to see me doing the thing, even though it's not easy. Nothing is easy, right? Nothing is easy in life, right? And if it's too easy, it's not worth it. Right. So I go out there, I did a race last week, and it was one of the hardest things I had ever done in my life. Right. But I got so much enjoyment out of it. I got so much out of it in general. I learned new things about myself, and I want everybody to be able to experience that, to experience finding that extra gear in themselves, finding what they're really made of, because all of that transfers into other areas of our lives, right? We discover new things about ourselves, and then we're curious about what else is out there. And so that's really what cycling has brought to my life. And I am so excited and a little bit scared to do Rebecca's Private Idaho, because she is the queen of pain. So I know that there's going to be an element of pain, whether it's mental pain or physical pain and soreness. I know that that's going to exist, but that's not going to stop me from showing up and trying hard, right? And so I want everybody to be able to experience that because it brings so much to our lives. See you there.